But then again, he's a Fonda. Now, a bigger one. Here's a bigger one now. I want to get all this out of the way. This is what I was telling you about last night. Brooke Baldwin, another one I can't stand. She's probably right underneath Allison Camerata. Brooke Baldwin interviewed an ICE officer on CNN. And Brooke obviously was going in for the kill. She was going in for the kill, but she was met by a brick wall of cold truth. And it just kept coming in waves. Now, this is 10-minute long. This is a 10-minute long clip, but I promise you, it is a very quick 10 minutes because it's really good. And if you're at home and you're listening to this on podcasts and all that, it's just good that you listen to it. It's just good you listen to it because this is a guy you have to listen to. And I want you to take note of everything she's doing. If you're watching this, you have to take note of her body language, take note of her line of questioning, take note of what's going on. And obviously, she's being fed in her earpiece, hey, keep it on the kids. Keep it on the kids. Concentrate on the kids. Concentrate on the kids. You can tell that this is getting away from CNN. And she did not expect to be having a real interview. Okay? So I want to play this for you. We're going to play it together. Play it together. That's what you and I are going to do. All right, let's do this.
Get back now just to these voices that we can't hear enough of from this crisis.
Now, she's starting off with, now, the first thing I want you to listen to are these voices. She plays a clip of children crying, saying, mommy, daddy. First of all, I would be crying for a lot more than mommy and daddy if I was in a strange country, surrounded by men and women with guns. I'm in a strange place. I just went through a really strange, uncomfortable, long journey across the desert around other people I don't know what the hell's going on, no idea what direction is up, down, left, right, what's good, what's bad, what countries are, what anything is. So these confused kids are crying mommy, they're crying daddy, and some of the Border Patrol agents, one of them says, sounds like we have an orchestra here, because they're all saying the same thing. But they're sporadic and all over it's more like a cacophony than an orchestra, everything actually really together. And another one says, all we need is a conductor. As in, you have all this chaos. No, too bad we don't have a conductor. We have all the instruments, but we don't have a conductor to make everything calm down and bring everything in order. And of course, the hypersensitive ninnies, the nincompoops over there at CNN, they have to turn this into, oh my God. They have time to joke while children are crying. They have time to joke while children are crying. My God. This is Trump. This is Trump's America. So let's listen to this for a second because it quickly gets out of hand and then it doesn't get any better for Brooke.
On the border, these young children who have been taken from their parents. Audio of their cries comes from the nonprofit news outlet ProPublica. It reports these children are somewhere between the years of 4 and 10. The reporting also captured the words of border agents caring for them.
Try not to cry. Daddy. Daddy, daddy, the child saying. The normal things that you hear children saying at just, a park, a playground. Mommy. Now, here's the Border Patrol agent. Says, well, we have an orchestra here, right? And here's another Border Patrol agent. What we're missing is a conductor.
With me now from McAllen, Texas, Border Patrol agent Chris Cabrera. He is also the spokesman for the National Border Patrol Council. Chris, thank you so much for being with me.
No, thank you for having me.
Listen, I know you're a father. I know you're a father of 4. I know this is hard for you, too. But when you hear that audio where one of these agents refers to the cries of children, he says, tenemos una orquestra, right? We have an orchestra.
Oh, good. That was a good one, Brooke. Just rush the Spanish along. Don't want anybody call any attention to your Spanish.
What did you think?
You know, actually, this is the first I'm hearing. I mean, I try and distance myself from a lot of this. I think the real issue we need to get at here is we need to solve this problem.
But Chris, hang on. I can't let you off the hook. Hang on.
No, can't let you off the hook, Chris, because you are on a hook right now. Didn't you know? Can't let you off the hook, Chris. Tell us, what did they mean by the orchestra and the conductor comments, Chris? Son of a bitch, tell us. I'm Brooke Baldwin, damn it.
If that is the audio, even if you're hearing it for the first time, and you hear this Border Patrol agent saying, speaking about the cries of children, saying, we have an orchestra.
The cries
and the next
of children.
Agent says, well, all we need is a conductor. I need to have you respond to that.
Well, you know, I mean, it's probably, you know, I mean, like I said, I wasn't there. I don't know. And you know, it's, you know, they're probably just making light of a bad situation. It is what it is, you know. You can't change
hang on.
You can't change the fact that that's what it is.
Oh, hang on. Chris, are you children, Chris? Children.
But making light of a bad situation, why should you ever make light of these children being ripped from their parents?
Oh, they're not making fun of them, not being ripped.
Look at it this way. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I don't think everybody understands what's actually happening down here. You know, you have a lot of these kids that are coming here and put through terrible situations by their parents. They are brought over in extremely dangerous conditions in an extremely dangerous terrain.
Now listen to all of this. This is where she starts losing it right off the bat. We're at the 2-minute and 40-second mark. This is where she starts losing it. She went in with a very, very specific plan. She had audio of kids screaming for their parents, and she had audio of 2 Border Patrol agents making this innocuous, weird joke about how, you know, but it's not even like they weren't taunting. I mean, if you had Border Patrol agents taunting the kids, like dangling candy in front of them and then pulling it away, I'd understand, like, what the hell are these guys doing? But it's just so innocuous. But they need to make this the biggest disaster that's possible. Now watch, I'm going to go back just a little bit. Listen to Chris Cabrera once again, starting in on the condition in which these kids actually cross the border, the condition in which they receive these children. Listen to this. This is where there's really nowhere to go.
Making light of a bad situation, why should you ever make light of these children being ripped from their parents, period?
Well, you know, look at it this way. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I don't think everybody understands what's actually happening down here. You know, you have a lot of these kids that are coming here and put through terrible situations by their parents. They are brought over in extremely dangerous conditions in an extremely dangerous terrain, and all this can be avoided if they just go through the port of entry. There would be no crime committed by them, and they wouldn't get separated. Why they don't do this is beyond me, but this problem is very easily solved, at least on the short-term basis, by going through the port of entry. If they choose to go through the river, they're committing a crime just like anyone else. They're subject to arrest, and we all know when you get arrested, you don't get to stay with your family. It's just the sad reality of life. And
there you go. That's it. There's a reference to the port of entry again. That's it. It's all choices. It's all choices. But she continues. She continues that she's already in a trench here. She doesn't know what she's going to do.
So a couple of things, and I think you're right to point out that the port of entry, I think there's so much being thrown at people who don't know as much about immigration, certainly as you do.
No, you're throwing shit at people who don't know much about immigration, Brooke. You and your network is throwing. You guys are throwing shit at people, among other networks, among other outlets. You're throwing shit at people who don't know a lot about immigration law and what is going on now. You're the ones throwing shit at people, because you know you can take advantage of their ignorance.
As a Border Patrol agent, right? But there are a couple of ways to come into this country. If you are an undocumented immigrant and you are in the Rio Grande River and you come out on the other side, that is illegal, right? If you are coming across from,
even
say,
if you're a U.S. citizen and you do that, it's illegal.
It's illegal. It's illegal. If you are coming across let's say the Matamoros Mexico bridge on over to, you know, Texas, across that bridge at that port of entry, and you're seeking asylum, that is legal. I know you have to be inspected, and you know the process needs to happen to be appropriate. But the problem is, even in some of those cases, those families, I talked to an NPR reporter yesterday, some of those families are being turned away, and it's not just a day delay, it's an indefinite delay.
Well, and you know, and therein lies the problem. We've had this situation going on for 4 years now, and for some reason we haven't fixed it. I don't.
Uh-oh. Once again, Brooke has to face the idea that it's not just Donald Trump. 4 years. Quickly, the math through her head. She's like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. I know that my viewers are stupid, but they're going to be able to say 4 years, 2018 minus 4, it's 2014. Donald Trump won the election in 2016, which means, oh, shit. Oh, God, I should have never got this guy on the air.
I don't think you can necessarily blame it on one administration or the other. It started under one, and it's continuing under another. It hasn't been fixed, and
oh, you saw her twist.
Right now, we have this beacon of we'll leave the light on for you. You come across illegally, and we'll let you into the country. And if you guys have seen some of the stuff that we've seen down here, you would understand just how important it is to have a tough stance to divert people from coming here.
Now, this is what she's trying to find a way to get in here now, because it's already going very, very bad, and it's going to get very, very much worse right here. Listen.
When you see a 12-year-old girl with a Plan B pill, or with their parents put her on birth control because they know that's getting violated as part of the journey, that's just a terrible way to live. When you see a 4-year-old girl traveling completely alone with just her parents' phone number written across her shirt, I mean, come on now, you know, something needs to be done. We had a 9-year-old boy last year have a heat stroke and die in front of us with no family around, and that's because we're allowing people to continue to take advantage of this system. And let's be honest here, if we want this law changed, then we need to, that's on Congress. That's on nobody else but Congress. They need to come in there, they need to get to work, and they need to change this law. Until then, us as Border Patrol agents, we have a duty to enforce these laws, and we'll continue to do it until they change this law, and hopefully they will.
No, and let me just underscore some of what you're saying. You know, seeing a 9-year-old boy suffering heat stroke, seeing young girls come to you with you know, Plan B or birth control pills because their parents provide them for them because they know the journey will involve them being raped. This is what you are seeing, and I can't even begin, Chris, to put myself in your shoes. But keeping the focus on the kids, you know, America is outraged by what is happening, and I want you.
No, Brooke. I know that you're humiliated right now. I know that you're suffering a major humiliation right now. You just had a man tell you that little girls are coming across the border armed with Plan B and birth control because their parents wanted to have them to be prepared for the raping ahead. 4-year-old girls completely unaccompanied with nothing but a cell phone number scribbled across their chest. 9-year-old boys dying of heat stroke. We are to say, let's get back to the children. This is about the children. I'm asking myself as I'm watching this, how on earth can she even try to go back to the whole America is outraged play after hearing about the condition in which these children arrive? America should be outraged at the parents, Brooke. America should be outraged at the parents, Brooke. Do you get what you're missing? But you see, Brooke speaks for a network that assigns people things to be outraged about. That's the whole part here. That's what Brooke does. Okay, and there are people who watch CNN are being given a very myopic view on issues so that outrage can be controlled by CNN and their sister networks. She obviously didn't expect to be conducting a real interview on this day with Mr. Chris here. Unbelievable that she could have heard all of that stuff and say, but wait, let's go back to the children. It is about the children. It is about the children. How at that point can you even hint that it is outrageous that our Border Patrol agents would take these kids and put them in a separate facility where they can at least get a fucking pillow, where they can get something to eat, where they don't have to worry about being raped? How can you even say that that is something that is that is outrageous compared to the way that they got here. I'm beside myself. I have to hand it to CNN for actually putting out a great segment. They educated people in a way they never wanted to. You know, some people, they say shoot for the stars and, you know, shoot for the moon. And if you don't make it, you'll still land, you know, among the stars. They shot for such low-hanging fruit. They wanted to go after Trump. They wanted to go after the brutality of the ICE agents. They wanted to go after how much of a sympathetic position that the parents were in. They wanted to go after the low-hanging fruit, and instead they were forced to expose what is really going on. And it is not rooted in this administration to the point of even to the fairness of Barack Obama. It wasn't even rooted in his administration. They are just outed at every turn for the hacks that they are. Oh, Brooke, you hack. You hack. Oh, God, I love this. Couple more minutes. We're at the 6-minute mark. We're almost done. This is so important. Everything that we have learned right now is so important.
You know, Border Patrol agent, can you assure everyone watching that you and your Border Patrol colleagues are treating these children humanely?
I can tell you with absolute certainty that they're being treated humanely. Most of our agents are parents. I've seen guys, and I've done it myself. You give your last bottle of water to a kid. You'll take a toy out of your car to give to one of these kids because you know the situation they're in. You know, agents are very sympathetic. We're human. We're fathers. We have families. We do a lot for the communities here, whether or not a camera is involved. Our agents are very involved, and nobody saves more lives along the southwestern border than the U.S. Border Patrol. And I can tell you for a fact, one of the worst things that you would ever have to do is have to pull the body of a young kid out of the river because they were crossing and they just didn't make it. So something needs to change so we can avoid.
Every time she hears something about a rape or a sexual assault or a tragic death, because her lily white world is being shaken at the core. No, oh, tragic, This is reality. This is reality, you dumb broad. This is reality.
Some of these tragedies that happen. Granted, having these kids in detention centers, obviously it's not ideal, but it's far better than the alternative of a lot of these kids not making it.
Yep. Yes, and I know you say, you know, ultimately it's up to you're doing your job, but I know you say it's up to Congress, but actually it is up to President Trump.
Oh, she's tried. This is like at the end. You know when Chris Farley was trying to get changed, it's in Tommy Boy. When he's in the plane at the end, him and David Spade are flying off to Chicago to face Dan Aykroyd. And they're in the plane. They snuck onto a plane as flight attendants, and now he's in this small little bathroom. This big fat guy is in a small little bathroom trying to get changed, and he's struggling, and he's getting stuck, and he can't move, and he's just struggling, and he can't do. He's just trying so valiantly. This is Brooke Baldwin's Chris Farley moment. She's trying to get changed in the plane right now. Are you, Chris, Mr. Cabrera? Are you sure this is somewhat about Trump, though, isn't it? I mean, can you throw me a bone here? I have about 5 viewers right now that are really looking for some, confirmation bias.
It's not ideal, but it's far better than the alternative of a lot of these kids not making it.
Yep. Yes, and I know you say, ultimately it's up to you're doing your job, but I know you say it's up to Congress, but actually it is up to President Trump. I mean, they don't have to separate these children from their parents. That is what's different from, say, under the Obama administration versus now. So Chris, just straight up, do you think the president should right now end this policy of separating families?
I think you're wrong there. It is a law, and the law needs to be enforced. Regardless, if we don't like a law, we just can't decide which law.
Well, what is the law? I mean, wait, first of all, what is a law? Can you first tell me what a law is?
We're going. as far if you come across that river illegally, you're subject to arrest and a prosecution, and you will get arrested and you will get prosecuted. If you don't like that option, then you can go through the port of entry.
Listen, I absolutely hear you, and I
again?
respect that law. I hear you, and I respect that law, but there is no law on the books that says if a family comes over illegally that the parents and the children need to be separated. It's a zero-tolerance policy that the Trump administration put into place this spring. That's the difference between now and a couple of years ago.
Well, you know, and the thing is not every family is getting separated. Some are, some aren't. It depends on the circumstances. If you have a criminal history, for instance, just a couple days ago, we caught a guy coming across with his 5-year-old daughter. And we had to separate that family. Reason being, he had a criminal conviction and he was subject to prosecution. He had a criminal conviction for rape here in the United States. So.
Oh, Brooke, springing holes in her little boat. Her little rowboat, springing holes. They're like, no, you don't understand. And it's still. So no. Allow those kids to stay with their rapist parents. Even the rapist ones. Oh, Brooke, you made your bed. You made your bed, honey. You got to lie in it. Thankfully, this took place on CNN, like I said, so there's only 5 people in the airports from coast to coast that saw it. But we're watching it right now, so thank you. I'm glad that this is on the internet for posterity's sake.
I mean, we obviously we wouldn't want that guy walking free, but we had to separate that family.
Sure, and what happens to his daughter?
Over that one.
Sure, no, and I think that.
Yeah, what happens to his daughter? I'll tell you. She's not being raped, and she's being fed, and she's been given a warm place to sleep, and she's not walking across a desert. What's happened? She's feigning concern over things that she knows are not. She's just trying to be concerned and combative to the end because she knows she has been completely outed as a little partisan hack that wanted her little. She just wanted something. She wanted a little something that she can contribute. Well, well, I was just told that. we went off the air, and you know, there's a lot lost. Lots been lost. Quite a bit has been lost. So we're just gonna go one thing. So we finished with Brooke Baldwin, who thought that she was going to be able to really capitalize on some low-hanging fruit. So I thought she was really just going to go for it, but she just did probably the best reporting that CNN had done in a long time. Now, unfortunately for her, there's only about 5 people watching in numerous airports across the country, even though we just watched it together tonight. But that's just one thing in itself. I want to go to one last person now.